Across the globe, children are victims of sex trafficking, sold to meet a demand for sexual services. This horrific crime happens right here in the United States, and each year, thousands of America's children are lured into sexual slavery.
It was the things that he said were things that I've never felt before. I actually felt like I was loved by somebody for the first time. And I put all of my trust and all of my faith in him. And the way that he got me was he told me, let's go for a ride. I gotta pick something up in Indianapolis. And he said we were coming back that night. So I drove with him out to Indianapolis, and when we got out there, that's when he told me we weren't going back.
Those who profit from this form of modern-day slavery do not discriminate, and the victim can be anyone's child. In the United States, the average age of recruitment is 13 years old.
When I turned 12 years old, I started street prostitution. I had a pimp.
We're all under 18. We're all the same age. There would be a few girls that I knew that were like in their 20s or whatever, but they had been doing it since they were our age anyways. I did wait till 12, and these girls were doing it since they were like 8 or 9, and now they're like 23.
Do you know how many people get kidnapped? You know, most of our clients have been kidnapped many times by pimps. I was thrown, in the car kidnapped by a pimp before too. They see you, they don't think you're with someone or they don't know that person. They kidnap you and they beat you and they force you to go with them. And that's selling. They sell you to other ones. So the same things that happen overseas happens here, and we need to understand that.
It's not always just the poor kids. A lot of times it's the really rich kids, and you're like, what are you doing out here? And it's because their mom and dad are never home. They don't care about them.
Young victims are beaten, raped, and held in physical and psychological bondage. Fearing for their lives, they are often too terrified to run away.
He would beat me with broomsticks, handles. He would burn me with candles. He would take metal hangers and beat me with them and poke me with them, belts, anything that he can get his hands on, he would beat me with. The one time he had beat me so bad that he had ruptured my spleen and had put me in the intensive care unit. So it's like once you knew that he could almost kill you, you'd rather do what he says than to get beat again.
Shared Hope's human rights investigators have uncovered an underground market for America's youth, a market that is driven by demand.
If you pay the price, you can get what you want. I can get it for you.
Really?
Now, if you want something really young, that $200 it just costs a little more than that.
Sure.
But how young you talking? Talk to me.
Well, how young do you have?
Well, I don't have nothing younger than 14.
Okay, no, 14 is good.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. So the girls over there cost $2, is that?
That's the women.
The women.
Now, if I told you 2, and you want something young, and I tell you to add something to it, just tell me, you just pick a figure to that.
Well, I guess, what, 3?
3. If you do 3, you got it.
Our children are being sold, day after day, like product, all to meet the demand for paid sex.
I want to show them and tell them like what it feel like to be that hoe, to be degraded all the time, to be hit on, to be manipulated, to be sold all day, every day. Who was there to stop it? Nobody was there to stop it.
Tonight you've heard the sobering, disturbing truth from the voices and faces of girls who have been sold as children in America. We've heard there's over 100,000 of them in a year, and maybe 300,000. You've heard from the men selling the children on the streets, and you've heard from buyers. Now you've heard this, we want to ask you this. Are you going to join us in taking a stand? Or are you going to go home and say that was disturbing? Tonight we ask you to take a stand, to stand with us to end demand. Kids are not for sale. Kids are not for sale in America, not today, not tomorrow, not at all. Now join me in our vigil for lost innocence.
Child sex trafficking victimizes hundreds of thousands of children every year in the United States. Official data reveals that over the course of several years, children were trafficked into Las Vegas from more than 40 different states. This epidemic is affecting your town, your state, your nation.